Greetings friends and fans of YouTube, it's nice to see you all again. Welcome to another review video. So I know I said I was going to do the Ibanez RGMS7, but there is quite a lot to that guitar and it's going to take a little bit longer to review. And not only that, I have a friend that's expressed interest in wanting to trade this with me, so I've decided that I'm going to review this first. So for those that don't know, this is a Dean Thoroughbred X. It's a Dean entry-level single cut guitar. But it is by no means an entry-level guitar for what you pay. So, as with any video I ever do, I'll go through the specs, I'll go through the tones, and then it will be up to you really to decide whether or not this could be the next single-cut guitar for you. So, the body is basswood, and we have a lovely maple neck. We have a rosewood board with 22 jumbo frets and a 24 3/4 scale length, so Les Paul scale length. It has the classic 3 above 3 below configuration for the tuning keys, which are Dean's own. And we have the classic 2 volume 2 tone for each pickup, a 3-way switch which goes side to side, which really threw me off, and then a Tune-o-matic style bridge. The pickups are Dean's own high output passive humbuckers, and the body, as you can see, it's finished in a lovely gloss black with a white binding. The other colour options that come with this is white with a black binding. The inlays are standard pearl inlays, blocks. And yes, that's the basic specs of the guitar. There's nothing like a volute or anything like that for any sort of neck relief. It is very much a meat and potatoes classic Les Paul style guitar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on clean in the neck position. Now, this guitar will be in drop D, which I haven't played in for quite a while. I usually play in drop C sharp, which is a step below this. Sorry, half step below this. And yeah, so it's going to be nice to revisit a tuning that I used a lot, sort of during my early years of playing. So I'm going to switch over to a nice clean channel with a little bit of reverb and delay, and then we'll get to the review. There we are guys, so I am back now on the clean channel on my Blackstar ID Core 20 amp. For those that want to know my signal chain, it is just a Blackstar amp going straight into my Oppo Reno 2 smartphone camera. So as I said, I'm going to start in the neck on clean. There's no coil splits or anything like that in this, so it is very much just a 3-position pickup selection. Here we go. Expect from a Les Paul. It's quite a full sound, it's quite fat, it's quite chunky, and it just sings sweetly in all the right places. And as I always do, I'm just going to give you that lead style sound right now. There's nothing really to complain about with that. Even for very basic stock pickups, these are really good. Dean, as a lot of people know, makes some fantastic guitars, but what a lot of people don't know is that they don't really often make non-pointy guitars. Dean are quite well known for their Flying V's with artists like Dave Mustaine, and obviously the Dimebag series as well, although they have recently just taken on Kerry King of Slayer fame. So the next position then is the 2 pickup split in the mid position. Here we go. Again, not a lot to complain about. It is a really usable sound, which surprises me actually. It's a little bit thinner in the bass end, as obviously the EQ shifts towards the mid and the treble there, but it's not unusable. Let's see how it sounds in the lead areas there. Again, not unusable, and if you're someone that's quite savvy with the 2 volume control, you might be able to make a very usable Strat sound out of that just by rolling off the volume on one of the pickups. So the last position then in the clean tone is the bridge, and here we go. That's quite a dirty pickup in terms of how much gain pushes through. It could be something to do with the settings on my amp, but that's quite a gainy pickup even for a clean sound. Again, not unusable, and with a little bit of adjustment in the EQ and your gain settings, you would get a very glassy clean out of that. So just again in the lead areas there. Again, lots of sustain, really nice, and overdriven, as you'll find out, that this guitar does sing really well. Part of that is to do with the scale length, obviously shorter scale length and thicker strings, like what I use. Obviously I use the Ernie Ball Skinny Top Heavy Bottom set, mean that I get a lovely sort of clarity from the strings and bags of sustain, because there's not a lot of distance between the bridge and obviously the start of the headstock there. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to switch over to my distortion channel, which is the Overdrive 1 channel on the Blackstar amp, for anyone that does have one, and then we'll get into some nice gritty tones. There we are then, guys, so I am back now on the distorted channel, and as always I'm going to go through the tones again. Like I did with the last video, I've took the delay out of the signal chain there, obviously just so things don't become a bit too messy. So I'm going to start again in the neck position there, and here we go. By no means an unusable tone, definitely not for riffing like what I would do, but it's definitely got all the right stuff in the right places. You know what I mean? You get the pick attack that comes through quite nicely, the notes don't get too drowned out. and we'll just hear how it sounds now in a lead style. Again, it's very usable, and it does have that sort of Les Paul twang to it. Again, the EQ in these pickups seems to shift more towards the bass end of the spectrum on the neck pickup here, and it's a completely usable tone. Lovely sustain, sings in the right spots. So now, this is the two pickups split. Here we go. Not an unusable tone. Not a tone I'd use, but not unusable. Definitely a lot fuzzier when it's under the driven sound there. And just before that lead style sound. Again, not unusable. That I actually found some nice spots there with that, and it just sounds like two pickups split with some drive in it. It's twangy in the right spots. It's harmonic in the others. Sustained quite well. As I say, these pickups, to say the stock pickups, the Dean stock pickups, and they are very, very good. So the last position then is the bridge, the position everybody loves me on because it's the position I use most. I may riff out, just obviously do some classic metal style stuff with drop D. So here we go. I'm talking about. That is very, very usable and great for playing the drop D sort of classic metalcore style riffing that I genuinely quite use a lot. As most people know, I am in a metalcore band and I use that style of riffing quite a lot. And to revisit it in drop D on a guitar that's sort of purpose built for playing in drop D is just fun. It's really, really fun. So, the last style of sound then is the neck. Yeah, start again. It's the bridge in the lead style. Again, a usable tone. Maybe not so much for playing leads, but definitely a much, much more usable tone. Apologies for the speech confusion there, don't know what happened, but yeah, that was the bridge position in the lead style format. So that is it for this review, guys. As I've said, this is a Dean Thoroughbred X. It is the entry line to Dean's single cut range. Prices for this, if it is still available, start just subpar of £300 UK. So maybe about $350 in America, Canada and Australia. And obviously prices vary depending on where you get it from and if you import. If you do get the chance to get one, definitely worth going for. Especially if you're looking for a single cut that's not too heavy. As some people know, I've played a lot of single cut guitars, Epiphones, ESPs, and sometimes the weight can be quite chunky. Nah, this is a lovely balanced guitar because of the basswood body. As always guys, I thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.